Now that we get a little maintenance done, let's see if we can get some work done. Morning, everybody. My name is Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and this is Danny. Welcome back to Sawmill. And we've got a small job to knock out today, a couple of videos to get up, and we have to get ready to mill a big oak order. So I've actually been grinding Stella cut bands. I've got, I think, 6 of them ready to go. I've got 5 boxes of new ones, but they're all at 10 degrees, and we're going to want 7 degrees for these. So I have 6 bands ready to go at 7 degrees, and we're going to get into some oak later in the week. But today, we're milling 1x4 and 1x6 pine. Hopefully everything goes great. Mill's all tuned up, new belts, all greased and oiled and everything. And let's get into the video. All right, guys, welcome back to Sawmill. What we're going to do is we're going to try to blast this thing into a cant that in one dimension is going to be 10 1/8. What I want to do is I want to get 10 1x6s and 10 1x4s, which is what we're cutting. They're actually 7/8 by 4 and 7/8 by 6, and 10 feet long. So I picked out some logs, cut them up yesterday before the rain, got them all staged over here. We're all ready to go. My first step is going to be to find the middle of this, the height of this log on this end, get the middle, come up 5 inches, see if I can steal a flitch. If not, take it off right there. And then we'll rotate it. We'll clean up the other side. We will rotate it another 90 degrees. We'll set our width at 10 1/8, and then we'll flip it up. We're actually going to have to do a double flip here, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But we're going to go ahead and get milling on this thing. All right, so we're going to, you could go ahead and just quickly measure it if it's sitting right on the bunk, but this one isn't. So we're just going to come to the top of the log, use our sawmill for our guide. So by doing this, we're going to work out of the middle of the log. So this is 14 1/2. So 7 1/4 is the center. We come down to 7 1/4. So we were at 7 1/4. We're going to come up 5 inches, which is 12 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to make just a little simple mark right there. I don't even need to. I have to take it there. There's nothing above it. At least it doesn't appear to be. So I'm just going to take it off right there. And that's leaving me from the center of the log 5 inches this way, so I can get my 10 1/8 in my width. Now, I will tell you that I am going to make a measurement quick, because that cut, it looks good for most of the way, but it's a little narrow down here. I really need to take a flitch off this. The question is, do I have room to take a flitch off this? Now, there's a possibility that I'm going to have to get my 10 1/8 in a different dimension. Yeah, and it doesn't look like it. So there is a chance that this won't work for this log. I'll get some of them out of it, but I'd end up having to cut 3 logs for sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin this thing right now. So because that happened, I'm going to leave my options open to which way I have to take my cant. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side that I did on the first side. This side, we are going to go to the top of the log. We're going to split it in half, add the 5 inches, and do it that way. Because there's a possibility this log might cant out 10 1/8 in a different direction. So let's get ourselves up to kind of the top of the log here. It's 14, so I doubt it's going to work. That would be 7, and then up to 12. So we're going to go to 12. We're going to make a line. It looks like I got more meat here. I'm going to go to 13. I'll definitely be able to get a board out of this flitch. I'm going to take it right there, and I might leave it right there, guys. It looks like there's more meat on this side. We'll see how the jacket cut comes off here. And it did not clean up the whole way, so we are going to have to take another jacket cut or a flitch. So we're at 13, we're going to drop to 12, take one there. Still going to be skinny down that other end. There's a weird bump in the log. There's a weird dip in this end. Now I have 6 inches to play with in my length. In other words, these are cut at 10'6". So there's a possibility there's a board in this one. Before I take another cut here, we're going to rotate it again. We're going to clean up the other side, hopefully above 10, and then rotate it a 4th time. We're going to see what's left over this cant and see how close we're going to be able to get. I also have to drop that down. What I don't want to end up doing, I don't want to create a situation where I wreck every board on one side. So if I end up with a 6-inch cant and 10 1x6s that are all clean, that's better than ending up with 10 1x4s and 10 1x6s and having 80% of them have wane on them. I don't know what the use is for these yet. So I kind of have to treat it like, not that they have to be wane free, but at least acceptable. These logs here were all cut out of questionable logs, ones that had crooks in them. That one's a pretty straight one. That one's a pretty big one. I'm not going to have any problem cutting 3 logs and getting my whole order, but I want to see if I can get it out of this. So let's just try and do it the smartest way possible. So we're going to come right to 10 1/8 right now. And then we're going to go up from there. Man, there's not a whole lot here, guys. Now I'm going to see how that's going to affect my wane before I make this cut. I'm going to see how that's going to affect my wane. So it's going to take most of it off there. Oh, I don't think this log's going to do it. I don't think it's going to cant out big enough. But we're going to take this cut. I just don't see really any good way around it, to be honest with you. I'm just going to go ahead and take it right here. And then if we have to take flitches to get into a 6-inch cant, then that's what we have to do. That was a good one to take off. There was a lot of tension. That's our best opening face yet. We have a clean, acceptable edge on this side. We don't have a clean, acceptable edge on the bottom. So there's a possibility that when we clean up this side, maybe we'll be good and we can cut it in a different direction. So I am going to get a bunch out of this. I'm just not going to get them all out of this. I still have 1/8 of an inch to play with somewhere. Let's just hope that this low spot right here is below 10. It is not. There is still going to be wane there. and I got Wayne on the bottom, which means I would only get approximately 12 clean boards out of this. I'm already 10 1/8 here, so I could take this side to 10 and mill through it this way, but I don't think I can get 10 1/8 up. That's still going to have some Wayne. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the other way though. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this side to 10 1/8, then drop down and take it at 6. Then we're going to flip it up. We're going to cut a skim cut off at 10 and then drop through our numbers. I'm going to come down and cut this thing at 6. 6 inches, so all my 6s are on the bottom. 6 inches off the deck. Now we're just going to start milling down on inch marks till I have interference with my stops. Just keep in the back of my head. It's always a good idea to leave your clamp higher than your stops, because you can see that, but I can't go below 6 inches right now. Then we'll probably flip the whole thing over. Seven. So we got 10 6s and 10 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, got 10 of each. We got a couple of 4s with some Wayne, a couple of 4s clean. We got a bunch of 4s clean on this side. All the 6s are clean on this side. I thought I had Wayne on this side. I guess I don't. I think maybe we have 1 6 with Wayne on it, and the rest of them are clean. So we got a good jump start on the order, but we're definitely, you know, I could clean up that one flitch. I have a bunch of flitches over there to clean up. But what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up cutting 2 logs, seeing what I have total, then going through my flitches and see if I can just edge out the rest of it. If you take anything from this video, it's probably just going to be not to set yourself in stone with what you're going to do. Like sometimes it looks, you know, like it's pretty straightforward and simple, and it ends up not being simple. We got a lot more yield out of that log than I thought we were gonna 3 cuts into it. So for some of you that hung on, you just watched the hyperlapse of that last log being cut. Since then, I went in to eat lunch, and I contacted the customer to find out the use for the board so that I would have an idea of what's good enough and what isn't. And he told me he's building Adirondack chairs and other furniture, was his quote. I should have known that before, because this whole bunk that I cut out of that other log, it's got some bug holes in it. And as I go through it, they're beautiful boards. I'd use them in a second. But I don't know that I feel comfortable giving them out to a customer who's going to do Adirondack chairs and furniture with them. So I'll give you a look at them in a second. What I did was I went and grabbed the brand spanking new log. It's about 20 inches around. It's got a little bit of a crook to it. I'll show you it up on the mill in a second. I cut it off at 10/6 and threw it up on the mill. And we're going to mill that log into 1x6s and 1x4s. So these cut out nice. They got a little blue staining in them. They're what I think they're beautiful. But if you look here, you see the bug holes in them. There's some bug holes there. You know, there might be a couple of good ones in here that don't have any, but yeah, you can see them there. There. I mean, I think they're kind of neat looking with the blue stain, and I'll use them for something. But I don't think that I feel comfortable giving them to a customer like that. So here's the new one. Hopefully you can see down it. You can see it's got a little bit of sweep in the log. I got it horns up right now. Like I said, I took one measurement on the end here. It was 20. So we're going to have to see how this comes out. You know, if I can do this getting blocks off it and then milling all the blocks rather than trying to take a billion flitches off it, then that'll be better. But we're just going to have to cut on it and see how it goes. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to cut on this one. This will find its way in the video somewhere. I'm not really sure where. I just heard back from the customer when I got off video. He had left me a message while I was videoing. And remember I told you guys that I found out he was building Adirondack chairs and furniture with them. I just got a comment from him that I just read after I said Pirate Solutions out, turned off the camera and everything, that said, as perfect as possible. That is something you absolutely need to know when you're cutting an order like this. You absolutely need to know that. That means no marginal bands. That means no wane. That means flat, perfect cuts, no bug holes, no nothing. And that's something you really need to know in advance, because, you know, you go about a job like this completely different. It's completely different cutting fence boards than it is cutting furniture grade boards. And hopefully he realizes that coming off a sawmill that he's getting rough sawn lumber. So I forgot about the two that I have on the ground down here. We're going to have plenty of wood for him. And most of it's going to end up coming out of this one piece, this one log. And we'll fill in with the other log. I will give him 40, 20 of each, as perfect as I possibly can give them to him. So that's, and a couple extra boards. So that's pretty much it. Wanted to add that in just because it made me giggle when I turned it off. So have a great day. Thanks for the watch. And here is the final of the order that we cut yesterday. That is 23 1x4s that are all perfect. Those are the ones that are not perfect. And then I've got stacks of 1x6s. He's going to end up taking 22 of those, and I'll let him pick the ones that he wants. These are all perfect, no bug holes. Beautiful, no wane, and he's going to have a good pick out of that.